Good afternoon, ECC family. It's Pastor Crystal, and I'm coming to you in the kitchen of where I grew up in my parents' home in Redwater, Alberta. And me and Scarlett here have been doing so much baking, so much so that I'm inspired to do some baking with you. Every Tuesday, we are going to be cooking through the Bible, and we are going to be making today mini pretzels. And now, of course, I'm sure all of you have had a pretzel that had no salt on it. Then you dipped your pretzel in salt and your mind was blown because salt adds just so much flavor. And there are a lot of recipes that if you took out the salt, you would definitely notice. Salt is a very vital ingredient. Now, not only is cooking with salt very important, but also the Bible has a lot to say about salt. In Matthew 5, verse 13 in particular, it says, "You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt loses its salty taste, it cannot be made salty again. It is good for nothing. It must be thrown out for people to walk on." In this passage, Jesus is challenging us and his closest friends, the disciples, that we ourselves have the opportunity to be the salt of the world. That means that our presence right now is actually really vital for spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ, the good news. And if you choose to lead a life trying to mirror Christ-like character in everything that you do and you say, that will allow other people to just gravitate you there. They will wonder, what is so different from you? And then you are able to speak the truth of who God is and what he means to you in your life. And right now, I believe that's so pivotal because history is being made right now. Like our families, our country, our nation, our world is going through a really tragic and life-changing time. And my challenge is to you, will you jump on board with bringing hope in this very, very difficult time? Will you listen to the leading of the Holy Spirit when the Holy Spirit drops names in your mind and you decide in that moment to ask God to help you? Be bold in that and phone that friend that you haven't talked to in a while. Phone that sibling that you haven't even seen in a really long time. Will you allow Christ to be the focus in this time and to lead you to the people that need hope the most? We could just sit idle in our homes, being so fed with fear, so worried about being sick. Or we can choose to take our eyes off of us and our own immediate family and look at how God wants to spread his glory in this moment and to show people who he is and for people to be drawn to him. How can we show the people around us that we are the salt that is Christ honoring and that brings him glory? How do we allow him to shape our minds to be so focused on pursuing the things of Christ in a time like this, to bringing hope to people who really, really need it, to allow them to taste and see, like Psalm 34:8 says, "Taste and see that the Lord is good," out of our own life, then they will want that too. The rest of the verse said, "Blessed is the man who trusts in him." As Christ followers, we do not have some monopoly on this virus, that we are somewhat unscathed by any means, but we do have someone who has a plan, and we know that person who has a future for us. We can depend on the hope that he brings to everyone around us. So with that being said, let's make some pretzels. You can do this with your family at home. So I'm just taking a small portion of my dough here. I'm just gonna move this to the side. And how you wanna do this, don't worry people, I YouTube this, is you make a circle, then you wrap the two ends, fold them over to the side, and then turn them around. So it looks like this. Whoop, because I guess the turn didn't work. And then you go like this. I'm no pro. I know Scarlett's gonna eat it anyway. I'm gonna put that on my board. on my sheet, my baking sheet here. So I already did a few for you guys earlier. I'm gonna put these in the oven. The recipe says put them in for 15 minutes, and I will post the recipe at the bottom of this clip. So I'm just gonna start my timer here, 13 minutes. All right, our pretzels just came hot and ready out of the oven. Nicely golden, crispy brown. In order to make the salt stick, I did just add a little bit of butter on the top to make it stick. And so warm, so tasty. The salt just makes it all come together. Try this at home with your kids, it's so easy. I think Scarlett's really gonna love snacking on this. I might melt some cheese to go with this. My prayer for you is that your family, you individually, would be led by the Spirit to be used of God in your home, to minister to your family, your friends, and those around you. If God drops a name in your mind, ask God for boldness to help you act on that, to be salt in a world that desperately needs hope right now. Allow God's goodness in your life to just shine through, to direct your life, to flavor somebody else's life who really needs hope today. See you next Tuesday.